Welcome to the Numerology and the Astrology for March 1st, 2021. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 9. The number 9 is the number of empathy, intuition, sensitivity, subtlety, nuance. And the number 9 allows us to see how our actions have outcomes and reminds us that it is our subtle feelings that tend to drive us forward even when we are not conscious of them. Magic exists in the space in between time and space. Learning how to harness such subtle energy is not about having control over it. That is because it is much too vast and powerful. It is about understanding the nature of that energy and allowing yourself to flow with it rather than against it. Power comes from not having control over something, but having enough awareness around the nature of an energy. Then knowing how to blend it into your own flow and become one with a much bigger pattern that has its own consciousness, intention, and knowing. We do not need to know all things. We just need to know how to flow with the massive patterns happening. Today is such a day that can allow us to feel into that greater flow. The astrology. Fortunately, it feels like it's going to be an easier week on many astrological levels. Helped along by a very engaging and social Libra moon. Keep looking for ways to smooth things out and take the stresses off our plate. This morning, the sun semi-squares to Pluto, and it can be difficult to let some issues go. It can be a desire to have a better handle and control over our circumstances. Know that just might not be possible at the moment. We have to remember that others cannot be controlled. Karmic circumstances have a mind of their own, and frustration is not worth the emotional toll it will take on our energy right now. Notice the tensions arising in others. Those upsets are related to the conflicts and concerns that have been held in for too long. Then notice if you are doing the same forms of suppression. As we are able to allow others to emotionally move through their process, we realize that it takes grace within to give others the space to find their own way through the turmoil and tribulations of their karmic journey. Today, stay still. Allow grace to move us and inspire our correct words to emerge. Do not try to change another's trajectory. That is what they came to learn. But we can be supportive of their process, and that is enough. Believe in their ability to move through the challenges so that they can come out wiser and more authentic. That is the journey all of us are on. Stay in a reasonable, grounded, caring, and stable mindset. There is much transformation still to come and much to be grateful for right now. Allow the attitude of gratitude to expand our heart and open our mind. That will give us the power to attract in those particles of positivity that can be cairns marking the pathway through treacherous terrain. And my quote for today. We wander around lost in time. We seek answers and listen for a chime. We look for signs that mark the way. We need those markers to keep fear at bay. Some paths are clearly defined. Some people are clearly aligned. Most of us wander, seeking to know. Some wish for stars and a rainbow. But regardless, all will find their way. So there is no need for fear or dismay. We are in a game of linear time. We are caught in a human paradigm. One that will teach us about grace. One that will transcend time and space. And then my blog for today. Pathways of consciousness leave little markers behind. Those that have traveled through various places create energetic wakes that can be felt and experienced. It is what draws us towards certain places and landmarks of power and magic. Some places have been cities for a very long time. Places such as Jerusalem have existed for thousands of years. Just think of how many people walked those ancient streets, living, loving, fighting, and dying. Such places hold memories, and those sensitive to such things can feel the energy when they stand on such ground. Sometimes the bridges dimensionally are so strong that one can feel lightheaded, woozy, altered, and confused. Many times in my life, I have tripped into patterns of energy that altered me in such a way that I was suddenly in another time and place. My vision completely altered, and I was clearly seeing ancient people going about their normal day. But more often than not, what stands out are not the pleasant and normal experiences, but those instead that have been so violent and terrifying that they create rips in the fabric of time. And the wail of those caught up in those moments break through the normal reality and alter time and space permanently. Such energy can also alter those in this time. In the places of great tragedy, one can hear the screams of those suffering, and that sound is not all there is. That tear in time carries with it the feelings, emotions, and thoughts of those people. That energy explodes through these rips in time to touch those that must remember. It is an attempt for souls trapped in a loop of karma from the past to gain freedom by reaching out to those that carry that energetic signature in this time period. It takes generations of focused healing and compassionate understanding to seal and heal such tears. But most are unaware of such things because early on they cut themselves off from that level of depth. They feared becoming ensnared by that lingering pain. They did not want to remember. They do not want to see how that unhealed and unintegrated aspect is still impacting them and coloring their experience. I completely understand why so much of humanity is asleep and gapped out. I know the frustrations and challenges that come with getting smacked with such sudden and intense waves of trauma, and some places hold more than others because of their violent histories, or it can be that there are just some places that have centers for commerce and trade for a very long time that they just have these powerful echoes. What I find so odd is that these doorways open suddenly and spontaneously. We cannot control them, nor can we completely anticipate them. And when they hit, they are profound. They are so strong that they come at us with a sense of knowing that is beyond our rational mind's ability to make sense. It is a full body hit, a knowing that cannot easily be disregarded. Such things permanently alter our reality. They show us that the reality we believe exists is just one dimension of time, and that in this reality we can overlap and interconnect with other times and places. Consider the possibility that we can exist in multiple places right now. Perhaps this is for us to encounter certain energies to remember and reconnect our wounded past to the present. And that is how we free our soul from endless loops of suffering and karmic reincarnation. When we embrace everything, every moment, and every circumstance is part of our journey to awaken and realize that all points, even difficult times, were necessary, then we find the freedom we so desperately seek. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy March.